Hi, my dear students. Welcome to Social Science online class. In this session, we will learn 8th standard history chapter first, that is sources. Many of our lower classes we learned the meaning and definitions of history. Once again, let me remind you the definition of history. History is the systematic study of the past. Why do we need to study history? History makes us better decision makers. History gives us the opportunity to learn from past mistakes. It helps us understand the many reasons why people may behave the way they do. As a result, it helps us become more compassionate as people and more impartial as decision makers. In history, we learn different incidents, events, and informations in a chronological orders. It means study of history in step by steps. To study history or to write history, we need sources. So, sources are very important to write history. Dear children, in this chapter, sources, we learn sources required to the study of history, types of sources of history, importance of the archaeological sources, importance of the inscription, importance of oral sources in history. As we learned, to study history, we need sources. History is written on the basis of sources. Hence, there is no source, no history in the stance of history. We can see in our judicial system, there the advocates present their arguments on the basis of followed evidence and sources related to their case. Similarly, historians collect the sources, subject them to critical examination, analyze and then write the history. Whenever direct sources are not available, they need to make assumptions based on the available sources. Now let us study the definition of sources. Human beings had created many facilities to lead their life since ancient time. If the things used by human beings in the past have remained, then they are called as sources by historians. So sources means if the things used by human beings in the past have remained, then they are called as sources by historians. So we can see what are the sources of history. The agricultural tools left by the people earlier time, fort, coins, inscriptions, arms, temples, and other religious buildings are considered as sources to write history. Similarly, the written documents and literary works are the main sources of history. The materials needed for the writing of history are the primary sources. These sources can be divided into two. They are literary sources and archaeological sources. Literary sources further divided into two types. They are written literature and oral literature. Archaeological sources again divided into four types. They are inscriptions, coins, monuments, and other ruins. Literary sources. A literary source is any work of fiction or non-fiction that is written in a standardized language and details the socio-political condition of the time it was written in. The two types of literary sources are written literature and oral literature. Written literature. Written literature is the form of human expression through writings. Written literature is the main source of literary sources. It can bring the contemporary social life of the times of the writer alive to us. A literary work portrays the then existing aspects of life either directly or indirectly. There are two types in written literary forms. They are native literature and foreign literature. Native literature. The literature created by Indians in native language is called the native literature. There are many literary works composed in Sanskrit, Prakrit, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, such many languages. The example for native literary sources are Kaudilya's Arthashastra, King Hala's Gadasaptasati, Vishagadatta's Muddha Rakshasa, Kalhana's Rajatarangini, Banabhatta's Harsha Charita, Chand Bardai's Prithviraj Raso, Pamba's Vikramarjuna Vijaya, Sangam literature. These sources help us to know the contemporary social, religious, economic, cultural, and political life of people during that period. Foreign literature. The literature created by foreigners who visited India as travelers, ambassadors, businessmen, officials, and missionaries have recorded their observations and experiences in their work. These works are considered as foreign literature. In a nutshell, the literature created by foreigners about our country is called foreign literature. For instance, Megasthenes Indica, Fahian's Kokoki, Huansang Siyuki, Ptolemy's Geography, Ferishta's Tariq-e-Firishta, Babur's Tuzk-e-Babari. In these works, also one can get the depiction on then contemporary social, political, economic, cultural, and administrative aspects. Even there was great importance for foreign and native literature to write history. They have many drawbacks. Exaggeration, hyperbole, and loyalty to one's master are apparent in native literature. Similarly, in foreign literature, due to lack of local knowledge, many misgivings are recorded. Historians have the challenge of writing history, keeping in mind all these limitations. Oral literature. Oral literature means the folk story, folk songs, folk legends, ballads, and others that passes on from one person to another by words of mouth. Before the discovery of art of writings, human beings were passing their expressions from one person to another in the form of story, songs, ballads. These informations transferred from one generation to another generations. The folk people have created ballads about their local heroes. There are many ballads on Kumararama, the Nayagas of Chitradurga, Kempe Gowda, Tipu Sultan, Sangolli Rayanna, Kittur Rani Chennamma, and others. Legends. Legends means the local mythological stories. Every place will have their own legends. There are legends behind the names and places like Bengaluru, Gokarna, Mysuru, Koppala, etc.